Hello students, I think you have a good time with you also last time. Now today we will come to the new chapter to teach you. You already know the last time I teach you the statistics in class 10, today I will teaching you class 10 probability portions, clear? So first of all you have to know what is probability. Probability is totally uncertainty, no? Uncertainty is we are taking a chances. We are taking a, what do you call, the maybe, may not be, is probable things. Like for example, if I give you that tomorrow there will be rain, there is a chance, may not be rain also. So that's why we have to take a chances. That's called probability. So if you write the definition, what you have to say? You have to say the probability means as a measure of uncertainty. A measure of, you can write probability as a measure of uncertainty. Probability as a measure of uncertainty. Okay, that is the probability. Probability is actually a measure of uncertainty. Uncertainty measures. Okay, so many things you have to know, then only you can go to the probability. Okay, the first line is the probability is a measure of uncertainty. Clear? Now next part is you have to know what is experiment. What is experiment? You know, and operations which we can say which can be some well defined, which can be say well defined. Okay, the we can say operation which can be well defined outcomes is known as experiment. So what I am telling you, I repeat again, an operation which can be some well defined outcomes is known as experiment. Clear? So we will learn the topic now, experiment. Okay, this is done. So it is an operations, I repeat again, it is an operations which can be some well defined outcomes. Well, we can easily to recognize that the sets, the things which you explain, well defined, that has to be called known as experiment. Now the next points we have to learn, that is trial. What do you call? Trial. Okay, we have to learn trial. What is trial? Trial is a performing of an experiment. The experiment is what you learn is a well defined with the operation of well defined what do you call outcomes, well defined outcomes, that's called experiments. And that under that experiment, performing an experiment is called the experiment. If you perform, that's called trial. For example, I give you a ball, you have to throw that ball to the target. You will be telling, let me trial. That's the experiment. If you trial it, that's called experiment. Okay. Example, tossing a coin. That also a trial. Then throw a dice. That also, or rolling a dice. That's also a trial. So when the experiment is going to be a trial, there is already called performing the experiments is called trial. So trial you understood, experiment understood. Now third topic is event. Event. You can write all the definitions. I am telling you slowly, you can write easily. What is called event? The outcomes of an experience. We are doing the outcomes experiment, no? Throwing, rolling a dice, or tossing a coin. The result is come out. That result is come out, it considers an event. So what you can say? The outcomes of an experiment. The outcomes of an experiment are called event. So what is event? The outcomes of an experiment. The experiment well defined, no? We can say what is experiment? The well defined outcomes. That's an experiment. And trial means performing experiments is a trial. And on the experiment, the result of the experiments we call event. Okay, for example, we can say getting head or tail. When you tossing a coin, you should get head or tail. That is the result. That result is called event. Understood? Now you have to learn equally likely event or outcomes. Event is outcomes. Equally likely likely event. Okay, that one you have to learn. So experiment, learn, trial, event. Now equally likely event. What is called equally likely event? Outcomes of trial. Outcomes of trial are said to be equally likely if taking into consideration, okay, if you take equally likely outcomes are the result of the outcomes of the event. We can say the outcomes of the trial, the result is event, is not it? We can say outcomes of the experiment. Outcomes of the experiment is called event. Example, head or tail I given you. Now equally likely outcome means the outcomes of trial, the trial what you made, that their outcomes are said to be equally likely if taking into consideration, mind it, if we taking into considerations of all relevant evidence, I repeat again. So outcomes of trial are said to be equally likely event if taking into considerations of all relevant evidence, there is a reason to expect one performance to the other. So I repeat again, you can write it also. Outcomes of trial are said to be equally likely outcome or equally likely event if taking into considerations of all the evidence, there is no reason to accept one in performance on the other. Example, in throwing an unbased die, all the six faces are equally likely to become. It's a dice, look at this dice. If I roll the dice, the top is a 2, it may be 3, it may be 5, like this. Anything will come. The 6 face, dice is 6 face, every face equally likely to come. There is a chance to possibility, every one by one it will come maybe. Clear? So what is the equally outcome? That means it is like this. Outcomes of the, what do you call? Outcomes of the trial. Outcomes of the trial are said to be equally likely event if taking into consideration all the evidence, there is no reason to expect one in performance on the other. Example, if you are throwing a coin, equally likely is to become all the 6 faces likely to become. Now we have to go for elementary event. Next point, our elementary event. Elementary event, okay. What is elementary event? Elementary event, an event having only one outcomes. Elementary event means having only one outcomes. If you do some experiments, that event should become only one outcome, that's called elementary event. For example, when you toss the coin, only head will come, suppose. That's called elementary event. Then remark, the sum of the, you have to know, the elementary event means only one outcomes comes. But in an event, how much outcomes will come? If you find all the probabilities, it will get 1. For example, when you come to find the probability, I'll show you how the every sum of the probabilities in an event is always 1. So write the remarks. What is the remarks? That notes the sum of the probabilities, all the elementary events, one by one. If you count one by one, one outcomes, one probabilities, is not it? So only one outcomes of an event is called elementary event. Then all the elementary events, if you come to the in a probability, you come of all elementary events, it will become 1. So what do you have to write? The sum of the probabilities. I repeat, the sum of the probabilities of all elementary events of an experiment is 1. Sum of the probabilities, I repeat again, sum of the probabilities of an elementary event of an experiment is always 1. Okay. Now we have to go for sample space. sample space. Okay, look at this sample space. What is sample space? Sample space. What is sample space? The set of all possible outcomes in a trial. In a trial, you know, tossing a coins. All the possible outcomes. So, set of all possible outcomes in a trial is called sample space. The sample space is nothing but a all possible outcomes. All possible outcomes. Sample space. ACE, we denoted by ACE. That's called nothing but a all possible outcomes. Okay. The set of all possible outcomes is called sample space. Clear? Now, for instance, I will give you some instant. What is that instant? Number 1, a fair coin is tossed. Number 1, a fair coin is tossed. There are 2 possible outcomes. Number 1, a fair coin under the sample space. Okay? Sample space. Under the sample space, a fair coin is tossed. Okay. If a fair coin is tossed, what will happen? 2 possible outcomes will come. There will be 2 possible outcomes. Okay. All possible outcomes, sample space, no. We are doing sample, 2 possible outcomes at most. Namely what? What are the 2 possible outcomes? Look at this coin. This side is a number 1 rupee coin. Another side will be, the opposite side will be the back side. It will be the symbols like that, no? The lions, okay, 3 heads. So, we call this is head and we call it is tail. Tail is number. So, 2 possible outcome, namely head denoted by H and another outcomes will be tail, namely T, denoted by T, head and tail. Understood? Head and tail. Clear? So, now what will be the sample space for that? For that sample space denoted by ACE, you can write with the second bracket H, T. That was the total possible outcomes. That's we call sample space. Understood? Clear all of you? Now, we'll go to the second part of this considerations. What are the considerations? Number 2, favorable case. Now you have to go for favorable cases. Number 2 cases. Unbased coins in throw die in once. Unbased coins throw, unbased die is throw once. It is a coin. Okay, we get it coin. Now number 2, we get it. And unbased die is thrown. What will be there? It is unbased coin, unbased die. Will be thrown. What will be the sample space? All the 6 outcomes will come. I told you, no? So ACE will be 1. It can become 1. It can become 2. It can become 3. It can become 4. It can become 5. It can become 6. So this is the sample space when unbased die is thrown. Clear? Now we come to all the possible outcomes. I'll show you. Clear? I think this one you already learned. Now look at here. Number 3, if we can say when 2 coins are tossed, when 2 coins are tossed, what will happen? What is the sample space? A is equal to the sample space. So, first 2 coins together you toss, it will come out, you can see, right? Both are head. So, you can write H, headed. If you toss again, or the first case, maybe it's come, first one is head, second one is tail. Maybe it will come, first one is tail, second one is head. or maybe both tail can come. All are uncertainty. It may be, may not be. So that's what we call all the possible outcomes. Okay, possible is there. So HH, HT, TH and TT. If I asked you what is the number of possible outcomes, n of A's we can say here. N of A's is equal to 2. Here what is n of A's? Number of possible outcomes, sample space 6. What is n of A's here? It will be 4. Like this, number 4. When 3 coins, suppose 3 coins are tossed. This toss should be simultaneously or together, you can say. So the sample space will come like this. You can remember in this way. First you write all heads. Then you write first head, you keep it fixed. Then head, tail. You follow this. Then first one fixed, tail, head. This one. Now H fixed, first one fixed, this one, tail, tail. Okay. The next, it will be how much? You follow the, in case of H, T, 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 all the tails. Then first tail is fixed. Then you go for tail, H, follow the same pattern. Then tail, H, tail. Then tail, H, H. So this one we can get number of sample space, we will get 8. Understand? Now I will show you if 2 dice tossed together. All the sample space I will show you. Number 5, when 2 dice thrown, then what is the sample space? Look at here, A is equal to, there is many sample space. So first dice is come 1, second dice also 1. Then 1, second dice 2, then 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5 and 1, 6. There is a chance. Then next maybe first one come 2, who knows? Then 1, then 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6. Do you understand what I am telling you? Just look at this, you dice 2, so it has come 2, there is also 2. It may be 2, it may be 3, it may be 2, who knows, no? There is uncertainty. So it will be say 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 5, 3, 6. Next, like this, same pattern. See, all the possibilities we can get it, no? So 6, 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, 6. Like that. The first one get, she 6, that will 1. It may be 6, it may be 6 also. Who knows? So that this total possibilities is there. And number of possibility come 6 into 6, 36. Okay. One more sample space I have to show you, that is for playing cards. I hope all of you know. If not know, I will draw the diagram and show you in the next class. Before that, you have to memorize this. What I am showing you, 1 coin, 2 coins, 3 coins, 1 dice and 2 dice cases. How much sample space supposed to come? Okay. The next class I will show you one more things are left, that is next class I continue, the time is not permit. So, next class I will continue with the sample pace of playing cards. Okay. So, apart from that, please memorize all the notes and practice with this. Clear? I will come to next class. Thank you.